The Centauri fleet dropped out of hyperspace on the edges of the solar system, their sensors and computers already calculating billions of simulations per nanosecond. The path to victory over the humans was clear. Resistance would be minimal. The primitive aliens had no counter to Centauri plasma weaponry, chronoton torpedoes, or psychic manipulation. The Centauri had crushed countless fledgling civilizations, and the humans would be no different. 97.82 improbability of total victory, with less than 1 Centauri casualties projected, reported Tactical Officer Zilak. A perfect score. Excellent, replied Admiral Zahn, mandibles clicking in satisfaction. Commence the attack. The Centauri ships accelerated towards Earth and her meager defense forces at sublight speeds. A handful of human cruiser equivalents emerged to meet the fleet, beam weapons firing intensely but uselessly against the Centauri shields. Fighters swarmed like insects, not even scratching the paint as they were vaporized by plasma bolts. Pathetic, muttered Zahn. Helm, take us into low orbit and charge the impeder cannon. Let us end this now. Suddenly, warnings blared across the bridge as a strange radiation signature was detected. Admiral, the humans appear to be utilizing an unstable artificial quantum singularity as a power source, said Chief Science Officer Zexa, confusion in her telepathic voice. It is housed underground in what readings indicate is a civilian population center. However, this technology is far beyond what our simulations predicted. Impossible, snapped Zahn. Recalibrate your sensors immediately. Readings confirmed, Admiral. The humans have somehow weaponized a quantum singularity into a doomsday device. One direct hit to the facility from our impeder, and the result would be, Zexa paused, manipulating the holographic data with her elongated fingers, the destruction of their homeworld. Zahn leaned back, clawing the armrests of his command chair in frustration. But the odds? On the surface of Mars, Commander Alice Haley whooped with joy as the first alien ship exploded under concentrated fire from the jury-rigged warp missile launchers. The Martian colonists had built from scrapped colony ship parts. It had been a desperate ploy. Everyone knew the odds were laughable, and yet here they were, beating back an invasion from one of the superpowers of the galaxy. In the asteroid belt, a lone space miner named Shulio triggered the thrusters on the 500 kiloton nickel iron. Asteroid he had painstakingly maneuvered into the path of the Centauri fleet, impacting a cruiser's engines and sending it drifting out of control. As he cheerfully radioed to his fellow belters that drinks were on him tonight, he failed to comprehend that his lucky shot had just crippled an alien ship using technology millennia ahead of his own. In the Kuiper belt, far from the inner planets, a Centauri scout ship exploded without warning as its reactor suffered a 1 in a trillion Strangelet rupture event. Ever focused inward on their own superiority and infallibility, the Centauri had never implemented strict safety measures on their vessels. After all, in thousands of cycles of galactic conquest, such a freak accident had never occurred before, until today. And below on Earth, in a hardened bunker far underground, the president solemnly watched live satellite footage of the desperate battle raging above. Though Earth's forces were badly mismatched, many small miracles were slowly tilting the odds. And finally, humanity's greatest weapon, their boundless belief in hope and magic in the face of overwhelming adversity, was shielding them here in their darkest hour. The president keyed the coded sequence to activate Earth's secret orbital defense shield, knowing this superweapon born from the idle dreams of science fiction writers and basement-dwelling eccentrics could be the salvation of our species. Today, humanity proved Clark's law to the galaxy. Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Field activation confirmed. Came the alert at last. Godspeed to us all. Aboard the Centauri flagship, alarms flared ominously. Admiral, we are reading a massive gravitational and electromagnetic anomaly propagating towards us from the human homeworld, shouted Zexa. It is consistent with no simulations predicted this. It appears the humans have mastered primitive gravity wave manipulation. Zahn stared numbly at the displays of his dying ships, his perfect plan crumbling by the nanosecond. An impossible, invisible force was pressing down inexorably on the Centauri fleet, crushing shields and smashing metal. On the flagbridge view screen, Earth itself seemed to glow with fury as ghostly tendrils of energy lanced out hungrily into space from poles, orbit, and equator alike. Below, The sprawling megacities that were once chittering hives of 8 billion workers, teachers, dreamers, and lovers, burned no more. Now these hearts of human civilization spoke in a single clarion voice that shattered across Zon's mind like the wrath of gods. We will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day. Humanity's indomitable shout of defiance echoed long after the Zentari ships had fled back through the cold void of hyperspace in total defeat. Admiral Zahn huddled on the floor of his cabin, continuously recalculating the odds and probabilities in vain to explain his crushing loss against such an inferior foe. In time, the simple truth was obvious. The humans did not deal in odds or probability or any rational predictions. Armed with science, engineering, and math, they laughed at statistics and rhetoric. They simply dared to envision victory, and thus victory was seized by human hands against all reason this day, for they shape chaos with spirit and imagination as their tools. And in their world, one can always turn to Lady Luck for her blessing with faith alone. So it was, and so it would ever be both curse and salvation for a species so strange as to defy all efforts at logical analysis. The humans had earned their place among the stars with irrational bravery, and the galaxy would never be the same.